What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you, well, with another market watch today. You know, within the Yu-Gi-Oh market, you only have about two things. Things going up, things going down. For the most part, for a lot of cards, especially newer cards, in time, most things go down. Pot of Prosperity at one point, for example, not too long ago, was worth roughly around $130 for the Blazing Vortex Secret Rare. Looking at the price, I mean, you can see it already, but it tanked in value with the release of its first reprint. Immediately dropped down in value. And we've seen this with other cards as well. I'm not sure if anyone remembers Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. At one point, it was $120, and now who uses it? And does it even have value? Well, it kind of does, but nowhere near $120. Once again, for a lot of these cards, they go up, they go down. Majority of the time, it's hype. Yes, there are times, like in the case of Pot of Prosperity, where it was used in the competitive meta. And now, well, you don't see it used that much. In fact, Telements, which used to use Prosperity, don't even barely use the card. Don't even look at the card. They, in fact, some of them we moved on to Pot of Desires. It's just weird how the market moves and how the game moves. And I think that's a good indicative way to really focus on the game. You don't need the best cards at all times if everyone's using it. If you want to play, if you want to be that guy who was using Telements when everyone was using Prosperities and Telements, but you use your Desires. Because ultimately, you're vindicated in your decisions in this game. It just depends on how you can rationalize it. And I think that's probably the biggest problem a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players have. Rationalizing their choices within the market picks. I mean, let's be honest with you. Some of these cards, they make no sense in the decks of their opponents. Sometimes they do. Sometimes you look at them and go, why did a guy play 2 or 3 of that? You didn't need it. Real quick, I just want to say, Destructive Darua Karmic Cannon. Everyone kept pointing this out yesterday. It's actually an ultra rare. TCG players had it as a common. Thank you for the 8 people that said it, and then the next guy came behind him and said it. Next guy came behind him said it. After the 3rd comment, I realized it because I didn't read the other 3 comments, and then subsequently other 8 comments. But this is an ultra rare. That is $12. Sure, okay. Once again, thank you to everybody mentioning that comment. I mean, obviously TCG player made an oopsie, and I'm glad everyone was there to fix it. All right. Let's talk about Darkwing Blast. Darkwing Blast is such a really interesting set because I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, like I said in the beginning of this video, hype can sometimes drive the market to do some crazy things. And hype can make Yu-Gi-Oh players, well, buy when they don't really need to buy. Waste money. And the point of my market watches are not to help you, here to help you waste money. The point of my market watches is to tell you what I think is a good buy and what I think is a bad buy. Now, looking at Darkwing Blast, the number one thing everyone's going to say is bystial or beasted or whatever you want to call it, because Konami really puts names horribly with the cards. You could have said beasted and call it a day or whatever. Anyway, looking at these cards, I think there are good cards in Darkwing Blast, and I think there are cards that are just hype, straight up. Telements Rukalos, see what I'm saying? Telements Rukalos is a card that you only need 1 of. Obviously, a Starlight Rare starting off roughly around $600. That will tank. It will be half its value in no time flat. It's a 1 of. The current cigarette value is already $44. That is going to drop. Sprint, pretty good card actually out of Darkwing Blast. Just like Rukalos, it's a card you might want to consider picking up if you are looking to play Sprite. Now, there's some other cards here. Ignis Phoenix, Kashira, Lady Labyrinth, actually for Labyrinth players, but that's more of a rogue deck choice, but still a great card. There are a lot of good cards here. The problem is, there's 2 things. Is Blackwings going to be good at a Darkwing Blast? And is B still going to be good at Darkwing Blast? Let me answer the first one real quickly because I'm a huge Blackwing fanboy. I've been a Blackwing fan since I first bought my first ulti value. I am super biased in this decision. I think Blackwings are going to be good just until we have Magnificent Mavens come out, and then they're gonna get absolutely decimated by the new Shizu versions of Telements. That's my opinion on it. I'm a huge fan of Blackwings. I think looking at the OCG, we can see that happening basically. But I will say the OCG also has Maxi, where Maxi is not existent here. So Yu-Gi-Oh players that are looking to play Blackwings can pop off and realistically only have to worry about what, Nibiru, which, I mean, for some decks, they're kind of evolving to the point where they're like, oh, this deck plays through Nibiru. That's kind of becoming a recurring phrase. And I think Blackwings can play through Nibiru, but once again, we have to see if it can. And if it can, it might survive through Magnificent Mavens. I don't think it will, but we'll have to see. So that's number 1. I'm a huge Blackwing fan. I'll talk about Blackwings again in a second. But let's talk about bystial, because People are saying Bystial's good with Dragonlings. People are saying Bystial is good with, well, Dragonlings. Dragonlings and Branded as well. So there's Branded Bystial and there's Dragonling Bystial. And if you're playing any or Beastial, I don't care about the names. Names mean nothing. Konami scuffs it. Don't get mad at me. V, you're saying the name wrong. Don't get mad at me because Konami likes to fucking slap their keyboard around and say that's the name of the fucking cards they're coming out with. Get that shit off my dick, okay? What I'm trying to say is, looking at this set, is Dragonling Beastial going to be good? Branded Beastial going to be good? And will they survive against a Shizu Telements? That's the number one question you're asking yourself right now. And you have to, because these cards aren't cheap. Beastial Lebellion is $70. Other cards in Beastial are still money. And let's be honest with you, they're going to be remaining money. I mean, $19. You got to buy like 3s of these. I think one of them you got to buy 2s of. These are a good amount of money to put in your deck. And is it going to be worth it for 2 weeks? Or will it survive against a Shizu? That's the number one question I'm asking everybody right now. This is a question I ask myself. And after looking through all these cards, through all these decks, I don't think so. Ishizu Telements is so unbelievably broken, so unbelievably unfair, I don't know if Beastials are good enough. That's the honest truth of it all. I mean, think about it. Beastials, one of the versions, Branded Beastials, they have to play against the branded version of the Telements. Like, unfair. Like, the deck just goes, oh, we'll use that stuff too. It is broken. We'll use it. And then we'll use the newer cards and just win the game. Now, once again, I'm not saying don't cancel your pre-orders. I could be wrong. There's a chance Beastials, Bystials, Konami's slapping on the keyboard could actually be good enough to survive. I'm not betting on that. There's two things going on right now. There's the sure thing to bet on, which is obviously going to be Telements with the Shizus, which has been tearing up the OCG, and undoubtedly is going to be insane here in the TCG. So you can focus your money on that, or you could buy right now and then buy again in 2 weeks. It's your choice. It's always been your choice. I'm just telling what I'm doing. When Magnificent Maidens come out, when the Shizus come out, I'm going to be looking at this set. I'm not a big fan of, like, whatever girl power set, the theme's goofy. But what I will say is I like the Striker cards in it, and I like the Shizu cards in it. I don't know about the other stuff. Hopefully it's good too, but those two are going to be insane. The new Striker card, I just want because I like Strikers. But, more importantly, the new Shizu cards, that is going to make Telements better right off the gate than anything else in the game as we currently know it as. And the game right now is pretty healthy. If you have Telements, there's like 10 different builds. Well, there's not 10, but there's like a lot of different builds. If you have Sprites, different builds. Now, are they fun? You ask the players. But I think it's really interesting to note this, because why would you drop money on the Dragon cards, which they are pretty expensive? I mean, a Structure Deck Rocket Revolt version of Quick Launch is $3. Heraldic Seal the Heavenly Spears didn't get a reprint. It's at least $6 to $7 a copy. You're going to want 2 if you're looking to play that. So once again, a lot of you players asking me about Bystial. This is my answer on it. I think it's really good, but I would, if I had to choose between Bystials and waiting 2 weeks and getting the best deck in the game, I'll just wait 2 weeks. That's me, in my opinion. I will be buying Blackwings, though. I'm a huge Blackwing fan. I did say that. I'm going to be buying Blackwings. Let me also emphasize this point. If you are looking at Blackwing stuff out of Darkwing Blast, just know that they're pretty expensive. Now, there are cheaper alternatives, but if you want a card like Value, good luck. It's really expensive. It's really hard to find, and I'm not sure if it's even going to be used in that set. But what I will say is Blackwings, the ones that are not in Darkwing Blast, they're starting to rise up in value. And maybe I'll do another market watch talking about Blackwing stuff in particular. Once again, if you don't own these cards already, they will cost you a lot of money, and they might not be good in 2 weeks. So why would you do that? Like, don't do that. Some might. Some people are. Let's be honest. We're going to be seeing deck profiles playing Beastial and saying, I think this is pretty good. And Copium, you know what? Maybe it could be good against two Telements. Yeah, no, you're gonna get straight botted by everybody at locals that gets Magnificent Maidens, Cracktals, and plays Telements. All right, let's talk about Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, because I think this is a really interesting card. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring added a common, added Structure Deck Legend of Crystal Beast. He's pretty much hit the floor price, $5.50 a copy. The Structure Deck itself costs $10 and has Crystal Beast in it, which obviously I'm hearing that's pretty a decent deck right now. It's a pretty, whatever. It also has Cosmic Dimensional Shifter, Ghostbound Haunted Mansion, Cosmic Cyclone, Fool's Burial Goods, Melody Awakening Dragon. Decent cards to own in your collection if you don't own any of these cards already. Here's the thing. Will Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring maintain a $5.50 copy? Will it maintain $5.50? Like, that's the real question. Well, no. Historically speaking, it hasn't. The Soul Burner copy, the other structure that copy of Ash Blossom Joyous Spring, the common, went as high as $25. Here's the question for you. Will this copy go higher than $5.50? Well, yeah, sure it will. Here's where it gets weird, though. Ash Blossom Joyous Spring at 2022 Tin of the Pharaoh Gods has been going down in value, right? Yeah, but it's also been fighting to stabilize. You can see over here, the chart does it really well, and I love these CCU. I'm glad they brought these back. I wish we had a more expanded version of price histories, because this shows you literally the market versus the player base versus those who are selling into the market. Like it's an ongoing fight. You see the price over here initially started roughly around $18.50, goes down a bit, stabilizes, then goes down a bit, fights to stabilize. He's going down a bit, barely loses that fight straight up. And then you can see over here, real quickly, tries to stabilize within a day or two. Goes down, and you see it happening over and over and over again. Right now it's down, and it's fighting again to stabilize. The current stabilization price of this card is roughly around $13. That's why I always emphasize on stabilization price rather than the actual price. Because if we don't see a flat line, the price is only stabilized, but it doesn't mean it's going to stay there. It could not. Look at the price of this card. It's roughly around $13.50. Now, here's my thing. I think the structure common has stabilized. I think the Ash Blossom over here has stabilized. If it remains the same, if it flatlines, you should be worried. Because in that case, do you have extra copies of Ash Blossom Joyous Spring? Because just like the Soul Burner, just like every other reprinting of this card, and you know what? There are a lot of reprintings of this card. The crazy thing about this is, this might go back up in value. The prices all universally have calmed down for now, but don't be fooled by it. There's a good chance these can rise. We've seen it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again with Ash Blossom. Would it confuse you to see that happen again? Probably not. We see this already, and we see this actually about to happen soon, in my opinion, with the Cyberstrike Structure Deck. Now, these are still available at your local Walmart, Target, OTS stores, but let's point it out because Infinite Impermanence in a $10 structure deck, by the way, $10, mind you, is roughly around $13 a copy in a $10 structure deck. Real quickly, do you own Infinite Impermanence? If not, you're gonna want to run and get your Cyberstrike structure decks and get your playset, because look at the value. Look at the value of this. It's slowly fighting to rise up higher. It's fighting up, whereas we saw with Ash Blossom, it's fighting down. It's fighting down to stabilize an Ash Blossom. With Infinite Impermanence, it's fighting up to break the ceiling of its $10 structure deck. And obviously, it's losing that fight continuously because YGOPaisano can easily go to their local Walmart, Target, GameStop if there's still any around you. Like, they just walk in and go, I'll just buy those. There we go, $10, easy mode. And then you get a bunch of other cards, which are pretty good, by the way. So, it's still fighting that fight. But the minute the Cyberstrike structure is gone, yeah, it's not going to be $10, $12, $13. It's going to go higher. It's going to go really high. In fact, once again, this is holding the value down for not only the super rare, but the other values, like the ultra rare, dual overload, the dual power ultra rare. Once again, it's going to be going up higher and higher in value. And I think that's something I really want to point out to everybody. Because if you don't own Imperm, you need to get this card. And the craziest part is, I'm still going to do this video, and there's still going to be YouTubers in the future complaining about this card. You got to strike when the iron's hot. It's only hot temporarily in the case of a card like Infinite Impermanence. Now, Divine Herald is starting to go down in value a little bit, kind of, sort of. It did hold a peak roughly almost at a $14 price point. We're seeing it in roughly around $12 for Divine Herald. And to be honest with you, I really like this card a lot. Once again, for Shizus, you need 3 ofs. I didn't buy this card yet. I still need to buy my playset of this card, but you're going to need it with the Shizus. Looking at Divine Herald for the Secret Rare, which, I don't know, I like the Prismatic, but the Secret version of the card has started to stabilize. You can look at the past month. Once again, that's a good amount of time for it to stabilize. That price has the card roughly around $19. So you can get the OG Secret Rare, or you can get the Prismatic Secret Rare. I don't think there's really any winners. I think OG Secret Rare if you want to hold the card for a while. Prismatic if you want to hold it temporarily, but that's just on me. I still like Prismatic more personally. Overall though, this is a card that I think you're going to want to get if you are looking to play. Once again, like if you have money, you go, okay V, I got money. Do I put it towards bystial, or do I, because I own Telements, do I put it towards Telements? I would always say Telements 9 times out of 10. The only time I would say 10 if you give me the money. All right, Albuletus, the Abyss Dragon, has been rising in value. From a low price of roughly around 9, I remember it used to be 8, but roughly around $9. This card currently right now in the market is $25. $25. Obviously used with bystials and obviously used against the bystial dragons. This card is going to start actually seeing play. Now, the craziest part about this card is, I remember the Starlight Rare used to be $100. Actually, how much is it right now? It used to be like $100 for Starlight Rare. You can see it over there. Once again, $100. Looking at it right now, it's $200. So will this card see play? Yeah, I'll see play for about 14 days. After the release of Darkwing Blast, I don't know if it's going to continue to see play. And that's the thing I really want to emphasize in this video. Do you chase hype or do you chase good value? Going back to Product Prosperity, it tells you you can chase some hype. And this card actually saw play, so you can't chase a card that's hype, because hype can lead to a card seeing play in the case of Product Prosperity, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is littered with dead hype. Value that held at a high peak that you could have sold, but if you held, you got wrecked on it, destroyed. So, once again, asking you, are you willing to invest your money in cards in Darkwing Blast when there's a chance of cards coming out of Magnuson Maven that will wreck you? What would you do? I really want to know this. I know I'm going to get a lot of blowback. Everyone's really excited about bystials. V, you're wrong. V, you're this. And I could be. I'm not saying I'm always right. All I'm trying to say is, we know you're going to be buying again in 2 weeks, so what's it going to be? As much as I always like to say I'm right all the time, I'm not, and I know that. I don't care. I do this for fun. I'm just really good at the market. Not 100%, but pretty good at the market. It's really easy when you look at it for, I don't know, all day long, talking to everybody about it, and make things like purchases like this. When I had to buy Primeval Planet Paralino. By the way, you buy this on eBay, it's infinitely cheaper than TCG Player. Get wrecked TCG Player. But if you are buying TCG Player, use my TCG Player link down below. Support the channel. I think if you add your purchase, I'll get about $1.50, maybe $60, depending if you overpay. But once again, I got this card. I'm looking forward to playing. I'm looking forward to playing a Telements with obviously a Shizu. I'm a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player at heart. In fact, I stream on twitch.tv YGOPaisano. Right now we're playing Thunderies, and I have an insane build. I'm not saying I'm going to go undefeated. No. We go X1 in every tournament. I'm going to go play at the Yu-Gi-Oh Extravaganza this December, and I'm looking forward to going X1 at that. Hey, that's a good record. That's a big deal at the Yu-Gi-Oh Extravaganza. No matter what event I go to, I don't know why, but I always go X1, which isn't bad, but winning is really good. X1 to me is not winning, but it's really fun, nevertheless. All right, looking at Flundery cards, obviously I have a Flundery deck. If you want to see a deck in action, I'll probably eventually post that profile up on this channel. But if you want to see it being played, I stream on Yu-Gi-Oh! Monday through Fridays, and I highly recommend you check it out. Once again, Twitch links down below. I'd appreciate that. For anyone else looking for field centers, I have amazing field centers on my website, YGOPaisano.com, as well as absolutely awesome tokens. Check it out right over here. Once again, the website, YGOPaisano.com. Link is going to be in the description for all that. So, real quickly, I just want to talk about, I don't hate this set. I love this set. I love it because of Blackwings. I'm super biased. But it also has cards for Telements. It also has support for sprites, which is really needed support sprite plays, right or wrong. But does Spy still hold this setup as well? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And is it going to be good enough against the new Telement stuff? Once again, I hope it is, because I don't want Telements to be the be-all, end-all. That would piss me, because I love playing. The meta right now is super diverse. If you play Telements, the question isn't, okay, I play Telements. It's, I play Telements followed by what else? Telement Dangers, pure Telements, Telements with Lunalights. There's just many variations of Telements out there right now. Hell, there's Telement players that are playing Paleozoics and it's beating people. It's great. Same thing with sprites. Do you play regular sprites? Do you play live stream sprites? Do you play sprite runics? You can't just say I play sprites. People look at you like you're an idiot. What version? And I like that. I like that we have toolboxy meta decks. I also like the fact that other decks like Exorcisms can come out and win. Drytrons slap you around. Thunderies always be dominant. I like that as well, and I think that's really important of a healthy meta. Despite the fact that we still have Quantic Mystic Mind, we have decks now, and YGOPlay's mentality has been trained to play around those degenerate cards. Looking at bystials, can they do that as well? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching my market watches. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe, comment down below. It's your boy V. And you boys also have a great day.